not much is really going to phase him. And
All
it
right,
looks like we're getting underway.
Yeah, absolutely. We are off. The runners are starting their run. Prodigy going into Quickman stage. CrebleStar finding Flashman first.
Wow. The freest of stages to start off. Flashman and Quickman. So this will be a very slight advantage for Prodigy. Free E-Tank on the next board. CrebleStar will have very little getting in his way. Depending on the enemies in the second half, he should be able to catch a fairly free E-Tank as well. So both runners in a really good spot with these starting stages.
Absolutely. As one of the features of the randomizer, you can hear some Cossack stage music for Mega Man 4 on Creble's screen and Flashman. Would you care to talk a little bit about the randomizer?
It randomizes things? Ooh, a little bit of a fan fiend action there. So, CrebleStar lacking item 1, or any other reliable way to get back up onto that top shelf, as I would so call it. So, unfortunately, no E-Tank for CrebleStar. Aside from that, to get back to your question, I think I'm going to wait a little bit because CrebleStar and Prodigy are both getting to their boss gates. But as you see, we have randomized bosses. Bubbleman does not normally belong at the end of this stage.
No, he certainly does not. As Woodman does not belong at the end of Quickman stage for Prodigy either.
Now, one thing to notice about these bosses, for those of you that might be new to the Mega Man 2 randomizer and how it works, we play the tournament on easy mode, which means 4 of the Robot Masters at the end of each stage will take 4 damage from the regular Buster Shot, and 4 will take 2 damage. So when you hit a Robot Master that takes 2 damage, you'll tend to see the runners swap and try to look for weapons that they may have at their disposal, which, to go back to your question of what exactly is randomized, the weapons that you get at the end of the stages are all randomized, as well as the items, where CrebleStar picked up item 1, I believe.
Yes, he certainly did, which is going to give him an advantage, as item 1 is hugely beneficial throughout the randomizer in several different spots. As we see Prodigy coming through his Flashman stage, let's see if he gets denied on this E-Tank up top here, which he definitely will because of the Fat Fan.
Yeah, there's just no way around that Fat Fan. You kind of have to wait until you get to that last ledge, and then item 1 platform your way up there, but I can't see Prodigy, even if he had the opportunity, wasting any time on picking up an E-Tank. This should be a fairly simple fight. Prodigy going to take advantage of the Bubbleman AI. So long as you don't break the vertical plane that Bubbleman's on, he'll just kind of sit there, because his trigger for jumping upward and then doing something is actually being on the same vertical plane as he is.
Yes, absolutely. As we saw Prodigy do a little swag move going into the boss room there, doing his little moonwalk. But these runners so far are evenly matched, coming to the boss doors at almost the exact same time, because they've both gotten quick stages in the first couple selections here.
Yeah, this is very fortunate for both of the runners to be finding the easier stages. Bubbleman, Flash, Quick, and Metal, I would say, are the 4 easier stages. Woodman and Airman tend to be problematic if you get caught with the wrong or lacking the correct weapons to get through certain elements, more so Airman than Woodman. And then we have Heat and Crash, which are their own little issue.
Absolutely, and some of you who are just joining us might be wondering why Prodigy was running through the bottom part of Bubbleman's screen and not zipping across. That is because the rules for this tournament are, it is in fact zipless. You can incur a penalty and or get disqualified from the seed if you zip.
Yeah, if you willingly utilize a zip, that will almost certainly get you disqualified. Although there are some points at which you will be accidentally zipped if you're up against a ledge and happen to get hit. It's possible that it will move you onto the other side of the ledge as CrebleStar just demolishes that boss. We have a not-so-quick man in the water here.
Yeah, where Prodigy did not have a weakness for Quickman. However, CrebleStar finding an ultimate weakness in Quick Boomerang for Woodman.
Now, that would explain why I barely saw Woodman at all on CrebleStar's screen. So, Prodigy hitting a little bit of a whammy here. It looks like our sync going on, so CrebleStar's gonna get frozen out for a second here, but just to sync the runners up, the timers that you see on the screen are unofficial. So what actually matters is the SRL IRC time, or if they, or whatever timer they're using. I don't know. Some have switched, some haven't. But one way or another, when you dot done, that's the time that counts.
Ooh, Prodigy taking an unfortunate death, getting denied by some Chanky Makers at the bottom of Heatman stage. After I was just going to say, getting some good luck on the first screen with Space Monkeys. But
yeah, unfortunately, it's getting paid back by these Chanky Makers. Probably a Fan Fiend's about the only other enemy that I would say is just, ugh. When I come into this stage, they hit you from everywhere.
And Kreble taking a death as well at the back end of Bubbleman stage, getting denied by some crabs on the waterfall.
Oh no, so both runners getting sent back. Prodigy's gonna lose a little bit more time here just from having to navigate the Yoku blocks, potentially without item 2, which CrebleStar, if they happen to avoid Heatman stage, they could pick up item 2, which makes that disappearing block section much quicker.
Absolutely. The only unfortunate thing was CrebleStar got sent way further back than Prodigy did on his death, as Prodigy finding Flashman at the end of Heatman stage. And this is going to be no problem for Prodigy. Done in a flash.
I see what you did there. But, yeah, Prodigy, you know, is going into their, I believe, 5th stage now. A little bit ahead of CrebleStar, but to be honest, they haven't gone through the same stages in the same order, so it's a little difficult to say, okay, one of our runners is really ahead of the other at this point.
As Prodigy finding some Fan Fiends at the start of Airman, which can be devastating for some inexperienced runners for sure. Let's see how Prodigy handles this.
Well, he had the item 1 equipped, so once he saw that first Fan Fiend, he kind of knew. And there we go, CrebleStar finishing up his 4th stage, so we'll see where CrebleStar's off to. Ooh, Airman.
Joining Prodigy and Airman, alright. So we can almost see, maybe a little bit behind, but kind of a real time of how CrebleStar will handle this. Well,
CrebleStar uses Leaf Shield. It was super effective. One-shotting the Fan Devils. Uh-oh, I think he's trapped here, because he's not going to be... He's got to go left. He shouldn't be able to make it to the right with pause buffer like we're seeing here. Oh, that's going to be close.
Oh, it was
shame.
very close, but doesn't quite make it.
Oh, that's such a shame when you see that, because that was a good 15 seconds of trying to pause buffer their way back onto the platform, where we saw Prodigy kind of expecting it and using item 1, unfortunately, CrebleStar just trying to force their way through, and it's just not happening. Ooh, time stopper. Alright, a quick time stopper, but nonetheless, only needed to make that one jump.
So we find Airman at the end of Airman stage and item 2. So I got a very important question for you, Freako. Is this even randomized?
Ah, boy. Well, you shuffle a deck of cards, not all of them get shuffled, I guess. So, you know, not everything got shuffled this time around, it seems, for Game 1 of this best-of-3 match.
As Creble makes his way through the second half of Airman stage here.
Yeah, this should be relatively free. No Fan Devil. Ooh, I spoke too soon.
That's a little bit of commentator's mirth there.
Yeah, I failed to notice that on Prodigy's side of the screen, but, oof. Still a fairly uneventful second half of Airman. Crabs tend to be problematic, but, you know, once the surprise gets ruined, there isn't much more to them. Ooh, this is ugly. Fan Devils showing up in Metal Man stage as well. Ay, ay, ay.
Airman giving Creble some pretty good RNG. He was able to take him down without any trouble as he finds his Crashman stage.
Well, we've got item 1, so that's something, I guess. Crashman is definitely the de facto stage that if I had a choice in the matter, I would definitely do it last.
It was Prodigy coming into Crashman stage himself.
Well, watching this VOD back might be, you know, a valuable learning tool for CrebleStar, because we see Prodigy actually using item 2 in that first section, where Creble used item 1. Kind of just slipping up, maybe losing a second or two, but you know what? It is a race. A second or two could very well be the difference between win, lose, or draw, to be honest.
Absolutely.
At this point, I think it's fairly safe to say that Prodigy is in the lead. He only has Woodman remaining, whereas CrebleStar still has to go through a pretty gnarly stage in Heatman.
Ooh, and finding a Lagphibian at the top of the ladder. Luckily, both runners have time stoppers, so they should be able to power their way through it. Still a hiccup area, though, for sure.
Well, the good thing for the runners is kind of both of them are going about it the same way, so it not really a net gain or a net loss for either runner. Maybe a very slight gain for Prodigy, as it looks like both are picking up the E-Tank, but CrebleStar is going for the 1-up as well.
Ooh, dropping item 2 a little high there, so it disappeared almost on arrival. as Prodigy gets to the door first. And we find Heatman.
Ooh, 4-shot. So, 7-cycle Heatman. I doubt we'll see either of the runners going for any kind of an item oh no. CrebleStar, that's a blue explosion. You want a white explosion. Because when it explodes blue, that means you're the dead. And you don't want that.
Yeah, as Prodigy finishes up his fight and gets item 3, so he is fully stocked on items now, finishing up his last 8 or starting off his 8th Robot Master and Woodman.
Yeah, so CrebleStar has a bit of a task ahead of him. He's gonna have to finish this Heatman stage quickly, which may not really be possible, to be honest with you. The first half, pretty easy. The Chanky Makers waiting in the second half, not so much.
Well, if you can do that Chanky Maker section clean, he does have item 2 for the Yoku Block section, so he should be able to save himself a little bit of time.
Yeah, the item 1 here actually helps, although, unfortunately, that second Space Monkey not beaming back to the mothership straight away, actually bonking both of our runners. The CrebleStar going with the item 1 strat, same as Prodigy. Oh no!
Oh yeah, CrebleStar taking that death as we see a cavalcade of Joes in the bamboo section in Woodman.
Ugh. Yeah, that not an easy Woodman stage either. These Joes are... Well, when you knock them off the armor, they're much more tolerable, but, oh boy. The Joe armors hit like a truck, and you don't want to get hit too many times by them.
Absolutely. At least we have a banging soundtrack to listen to as we go. This little Boomer Kawanger from Mega Man X. One of my favorite tracks in the entirety of the Mega Man collection. CrebleStar coming to his 7th Robot Master, Prodigy finding Crashman as his last.
Prodigy, I think, just kind of styling at this point, using the quick boomerang. CrebleStar using the Metal Blade to pretty good effect here.
Absolutely. And you know what that sound means? It means, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best eyebrows in video gaming.
Dr. Wily!
And that means only one thing. It's time to do our favorite game in the community. And at the end of this stage, we have a dragon. And that dragon can be randomized in terms of its color palette. So we like to guess the color of the dragon, and for bonus points, guess its weakness. What do you have, Freako?
Alright, so... being the strict, mathematician that I am here, I use a very straight and narrow approach to this called random.org. And random.org tells me it's going to be a green dragon, but I'm ignoring the random.org random number generator. It's telling me it's going to be the air shooter, but I always have to stick with the bubble lead.
Ooh, that's a strong choice, too. Let's see. I will go with my common choice of... It's going to be a Georgia Peach Dragon. Just a very pleasant to look at dragon. Peach with some green accents. With a Leaf Shield weakness.
Ooh.
As Kreble taking a death in our Joe army. Oh yeah, you hate to see it. You also hate to see when the tracker doesn't update. There we go.
Well, it'll think about it every once in a while from time to time. Ugh.
Yeah, that's the best way I could describe the color palette of this dragon.
What is that? Well,
right.
It's not Buster. It's not the air shooter. Oh, it's not the bubble lead. Quick boomerang. Can't even hit him with quick boomerang. Oh no.
Alright, but finding Metal Blade and taking the dragon down. So CrebleStar decided he wanted to hug that Fat Fan there, taking quite a bit of damage.
Now, since we did bring it up, but I didn't go through it fully, CrebleStar using the Metal Blade, the diagonals can be slanted not so diagonal for the Metal Blade, so the bottom left, bottom right, top right can go off not at a 45-degree angle, but I believe between 30 to 60 degrees on their tilt, but I'm not sure, but you know, one way or another, it doesn't always fire at a 45-degree angle.
Treble really hunting for that weakness, finding a 4 damage Crash Bomb on Crashman.
Alright, so Rebels got a little bit of work to do. I believe it was about 19 minutes for Prodigy to make it through the 8 Robot Masters, so CrebleStar is definitely behind. I mean, just by looking at Prodigy being at the Pico boss of Wily 2, CrebleStar just starting Wily 1.
Absolutely, as Prodigy finding Quick Boomerang a favored choice most of the time for Pico, if Leaf Shield is an immunity.
Yeah, Leaf Shield's the ideal solution because you can just kind of sit there right in the middle and let them collide into the Leaf Shield, presuming it's a one-hit Leaf Shield. If it's not, I would get off of that Leaf Shield immediately and try for a much friendlier weapon like this Quick Boomerang. It takes what looks to be 4 shots, but the weapon ammo isn't going to run out before Pico's life energy runs out, and CrebleStar actually taking a game over there. Unfortunate. Looked like he had just tried to reset the item 3 and unfortunately got run low.
Yeah, he got cornered by an unfriendly gang of Mets. Alright, let's see what we have in this underwater section here.
Well, it doesn't look like any moles. Ooh,
we got some sky crabs, or sewer crabs.
yeah.
Also, another great track in this seed. Some Galaxy Man. Really gets the blood pumping, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually liking this track. It is upbeat. It's pretty good, to be honest with you.
Alright, that's one big green guts tank. Or he was completely green. As we know, if you pause and unpause, his chest piece will go back to its original color. But Prodigy, after finding the weakness there, making short work of him.
Alright, CrebleStar making it to the dragon. Ooh, using the E-Tank, which CrebleStar knows he's going to get an E-Tank back at the beginning of the Wily 2 stage, so not a bad idea.
As Prodigy coming into Wily 4, heading into the false floor section, one key thing about the randomizer is the floors in these sections are also randomized on what you can fall through or not. So the runners will take it very cautiously, except for Prodigy has a little trick here he likes to do. He just jumps in between pixels and gets through there with no problem. It doesn't matter if there's a false floor above those spikes.
Well, I can actually explain what Prodigy does, because there's one false floor in that spike area. So, if you happen to always land where you're considered to be on two separate tiles, if one of them actually isn't there, you still have the other tile to support you, as it were. So you find that little spot as CrebleStar trying to find the weapon that works on the crash walls. One thing I do not believe Prodigy has done yet.
Alright, he finds Air Shooter as the crash wall weakness. Let's see how long, or if Prodigy even needs to learn what the weakness is.
Well, that's true. If we get something like Leaf Shield or Air Shooter, Metal Blade, perhaps. Prodigy charging up his fire and letting loose, so... Oh, doesn't look like Leaf Shield's effective.
It is not Metal Blade.
And Prodigy actually trying to pause buffer his way through the Boo Beam turret shots. Prodigy finding the Air Shooter, so now it's on to finding the weakness of the turrets. Not bubble, not air. It's Quick Boomerang. Prodigy will make his way into the boss refight section while CrebleStar using Metal Blade, which seems to be just about as effective as the Quick Boomerang that Prodigy used. The Pico blocks, I believe, have at least 2, if not 3 weaknesses.
Typically 3, yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember it. I knew the dragon was 2, I couldn't remember if Pico was 2 or 3. The Guts tank, I believe, has 2. The Boo Beam turrets have 1. Then the Wily Machine at the end of the boss refights is either immune or not to the Buster. If it's not immune to the Buster, then it's going to be free on both stages. If it is not somehow weak to the Buster, then we have a little bit of a search on our hands.
Yes, absolutely, because if it is Buster weak on the first stage, it will be Buster weak on the second stage. However, if it is not, the weaknesses can differ between stages.
So here we go with CrebleStar trying to figure out a weakness for the Guts tank. Prodigy, I believe, on his 6th Robot Master now, as CrebleStar beginning the dive down to see what exactly the weakness for Guts tank is, and it looks like he found it. There we go.
Yep, it is Bubble Lead. Also, one of the quality of life adjustments in the randomizer is during the refights. In the original game, it'll play the boss music every single time you go into a refight, but the creator of the randomizer changed it so that the stage theme plays throughout. So you got a nice little boss refight theme.
Well, not so fast. DJ Metal Man, every once in a while, can switch the beat on you.
right, let's see. It is Buster susceptible, so Prodigy should be able to get this down no problem in no time flat.
Yeah, unfortunately for CrebleStar, who is now in the beginning of the Wily 4 stage, all that's left now for Prodigy is Victory Road, and he is on fire. We could see a 31-minute seed here, which is, to put it bluntly, very fast. So, really, all that's left for Prodigy here, since he's chosen to go right in Victory Road, just has to get to the boss gate, figure out what the weakness is, and then dispose of the alien. He's got a full complement of E-Tanks, I believe, so that should not be an issue. No, not Buster.
Not Leaf Shield. Not Bubble Head. Finding Quick Boomerang!
Apparently the answer to just about every problem in this seed is apply Quick Boomerang directly to the forehead.
Absolutely. And a big GG's to Prodigy as we see CrebleStar finish up his run if he chooses to do so.
Yeah, I'm almost certain CrebleStar will at least finish this turret fight out. We might see him pack it in at that point, but you know what? I'm definitely not going to fault CrebleStar for wanting to see this the whole way through.
Absolutely. Also, Prodigy finishing with an official SRL time of 31 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yeah, to put it bluntly, that was a very fast time. I would say an average time for the runners to look at in this race is probably around 33 minutes. To be, you know, to say, alright, I have a good shot at winning this race by just getting through the game and going this quickly. Prodigy showing why he is a defending, well, I guess not defending, that is Metalo, but a previous champion, or inaugural champion at that. So, kind of as predicted, CrebleStar gonna see this the whole way through, so for those of you that are watching and wondering when Game 2 will be, probably about 3-4 minutes, and we should be wrapped up with Game 1 and trying to set up for Game 2.
Absolutely. We got a little bit of a lazy Crash Man there.
Yeah, very
do a little hop, walk at about 0.5 miles per hour.
Now, you know what? Since we have a little bit of a lull here as CrebleStar finishes up this seed and goes through the Robot Masters, this is probably a good time for us to go through what exactly is, or perhaps it might be easier to say what isn't randomized in this randomizer.
Oh, absolutely. So, what isn't randomized in this randomizer is stage layouts, the behaviors of item 2 and 3, where the wily bosses are, and just a few other things, such as, say the wolves in Woodman stage. The fire doggos.
Yeah, those are guaranteed to be there every time, all the time.
But other than that, pretty much everything else is randomized.
Yeah, all of the weapons have unique properties to them that can be changed aside from the standard Buster Shot. Oh, CrebleStar.
You hate to see it.
Oh, I hate to see it even more if it causes a game over, because that would force him to do all of those 8 Robot Masters over again. And that is not fun times.
Well, I can certainly tell you from experience, it is something that you really don't like to see. But getting it down that time, heading on the victory road himself.
Yeah, so I expect CrebleStar to fall to the right, even though his energy levels are not the greatest. I think he already knows that he's down a game in this best-of-3 match.
Yeah, his best bet is just getting a little more gameplay in, tightening it up for Game 2, and seeing what happens.
Well, I truly think that this is a good strategy from CrebleStar, because Prodigy basically is kind of sitting and waiting at this point. Doesn't have the controller in hand, not really going right now, so I don't know if that kind of works the same way as you, to use an American football reference, ice the kicker by calling a timeout right before they kick the ball.
Maybe not exactly the same way, but, you know, there could be some thought process behind it. And GG's to CrebleStar with an official SRL time of 37:07 as we get the next game set up.
Yeah, that'll do it for us here for Game 1 at least. Prodigy gonna take Game 1 over CrebleStar, but all is not lost for CrebleStar. It is a best-of-3, he could run it back, but since this is the first round of the bracket stages, it is a double elimination bracket on top of that, so what we have in store for the winner is a nice little date with 2% Chungus in the next round of the tournament. However, the loser may actually be facing a fate worse than death, as their potential opponent could be Metalo, our defending champion, or Crabcakes, who has, simply put, impressed me with how well they've navigated this tournament so far. So, not that I want to say ill about anyone, but I think it will be a bit of an uphill battle against whoever ends up losing the Metalo and Crabcakes match, as Crabcakes took a game off of Prodigy when they played in the group stage.
Yes, if there's one thing that I can say about Crabcake's gameplay this year as being a rookie runner to the tournament at least, it has been absolutely stunning. As we get the tracker back in order here. there we go.
I don't know, Ren Hero, because, you know, we all had our little, pick'em brackets, and I like me a couple upsets from the, initial stages here. Metalo, coming in kinda cold, he won one of the last chance qualifiers to make the bracket stage. Unfortunately, one of the groups fell apart, and that adversely affected Metalo. So he was not able to play any of his matches save for one, which I believe was a loss to Kama Senate. So Metalo is potentially out of practice? Maybe he could prove me wrong, but it took both wildcard races for Metalo to make the field, as Mega Kyle beat Metalo in that first wildcard race. You know, maybe I'm, you know, looking a little too far into things, but I wouldn't call it much of an upset if Crab Cakes beat Metalo. And I think,
it would definitely be a sight to behold, for sure.
Well, I go with what I know, and I know Crab Cakes can hang with Prodigy, who's in the bracket, Casual Tom, who's in the bracket, although they were defeated by Mega Kyle in a match, was it Tuesday? When they went at it?
Yes, that is correct.
But that still was a 3-game set, so Casual Tom could have, you know, just as easily have won that one. So we've got Daggett and Mega Kyle on the other side of the Metalo Crab Cakes match, so not an easy time of things, to say the least, for the bracket. But it looks like we have our seed going up.